bank is forgiving all of its outstanding debts on its 2 Visa cards.
Your balance is zapped, turning it into a big fat zero.
Paul Adamson feels the weight of the world has come off his shoulders. He owed more than $1,600 on his credit card.
Can you believe that Chase Credit Card Services here has completely forgiven the debts of credit card holders 100%?
So how is this possible? Many users were still paying the cards off.
Now, before you start running out to get a credit card that you can get your debt forgiven from, it's not going to happen. Chase, as you guys know, is a large American company. They made billions of dollars just in the last few years. But they did enter the Canadian market and offered a couple different credit cards. I personally did not have any of them, so I was not one of these lucky people. Of course, if we all knew that this was going to happen, we'd all get one of these cards, max them out, and have the debt forgiven. And that's why they don't announce these things in advance, because they're not stupid in the corporate office.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor?
So what Chase did was they decided to exit the Canadian market. So this is only credit cards that are held by Canadians or Americans who also happen to be living in Canada who happen to have these cards. Oh, I got a bee flying around my camera.
Okay. All right.
They've decided to exit the Canadian market, and they underestimated how much money they could pull out of this country. But this mistake has happened before. Target came up to Canada, lasted a little over a year, and left because they thought Canadians were stupid. You can just bring some really garbagey stuff up here, have really, really bad selection, and Canadians would just buy anything, right? No.
Supply problems frustrated shoppers who saw better stocked Targets in the U.S. at better prices. A credit card hacking fiasco didn't help the chain's reputation. Other retailers with eyes on Canada are taking note. Making money in Canada may be tougher than it looks.
They lost billions with their expansion, so I get the idea that Chase had the same kind of problem. They made a wrong estimate of how much they could milk Canadians for with their credit card market. Anyway, they are gone, and to exit the market completely, they decided, either as a show of good faith or for good publicity, because everybody's talking about it, Chase forgave all the debt that was still outstanding.
Ultimately, we felt it was a better decision for all parties, particularly our customers, to forgive the debt.
They did close their credit card services about a year ago, but there were still people who had outstanding balances on their credit cards that they were still paying. And a few people did quite well. I've heard reports of a few people that had, $5,000 or $6,000 or more still owing and completely forgiven.
Better than I deserved.
Now, I don't think this is going to happen again, at least not for a while, and at least not very often. So it's not really a good excuse to rack your credit cards up hoping that your credit card holder will somehow forgive the debt, because it isn't going to happen.
Don't count on this ever happening again.
But that being said, it's a wonderful story to actually see it happen, and thousands of people were just given a really happy summer gift from Chase as they exited the Canadian market to obviously probably return at some future point again. The old game of cross-border multinationalism is a game that never stops, and corporations are always trying to expand outside of Canada, into Europe, into Latin America, out of Latin America. It's a game that never stops. But it's good to see somebody actually get a slap on their wrist and realize, hey, it didn't really work out to the goals that we wanted, and in exchange, we're just going to forgive all the debt and move on and just focus on what we really want to do, and that is to start really getting the Americans in debt.
So why in the world would Chase Bank just do this?
Well, we wanted to know exactly that, and contacted Chase, which is part of JP J.P. Morgan Chase in the U.S., Wall Street titan. And we wanted to know how many people in Canada are catching this particular break, how much money the bank is losing as a result of it, and why it would just forgive these debts. Why not do something else to try to recover the money? But a Chase spokesperson wouldn't answer most of those questions.
Forgive the cynicism in me, but I think Chase knows what they're doing when it comes to managing credit cards from their own people in the US of A. I think they got a pretty good stranglehold of people down there, and they somehow know how to maximize that kind of profit, and they weren't doing it to the Canadians somehow. So, I love it. I love it when kids yell and scream. It's great.
How about giving me a little credit?
Nobody gives you credit, John. It's something you have to earn.
Of course, it could be a publicity stunt. Who knows what these people think that run these companies, but what do you think? Put your comments down below on what you think about Chase leaving the Canadian credit card market and forgiving the debts of the credit card holders here. I don't know what to make of it. I think it's a good story, but I'm a bit cynical, so you put your comments down below. In the meantime, folks, stay safe, keep your wheels on the ground. I'll talk to you soon. We're out.